2018 was such a difficult year to follow in video gaming. We'd already had some of the last generation's best single-player, story-driven games, with releases of Red Dead Redemption 2, God of War, Spider-Man, and Detroit Become Human. 2018 was the pinnacle of what last generation could offer. 2019 was no slouch either, with Control, Sekiro, the Resident Evil 2 remake, and The Outer Worlds. But late in November 2019, Kojima Productions released its first standalone video game, Death Stranding, months before the pandemic hit and in the final years of the PlayStation 4 generation. Today I'm taking a look back at Hideo Kojima's epic and utterly unique Death Stranding with the definitive edition playing on PlayStation 5. First I want to take a look at this game's graphics. It was built on the improved Guerrilla Games Decima engine, used for Killzone Shadowfall and Horizon Zero Dawn. Even in its initial release, Death Stranding was a visual powerhouse, and the definitive edition, especially on modern hardware, just shines. The sheer fidelity of the environments is breathtaking, from the desolate, windswept plains to the treacherous, snow-capped mountains. Every vista is a wallpaper-worthy screenshot. The draw distance is incredible, allowing you to see vastness of the broken world stretched out before you. And it's not just the landscapes. Character models are meticulously detailed, from the wrinkles on Sandport Bridges' face to the intricate designs of his suit. The way rain interacts with the environment, the shimmering of the timefall, the eerie glow of the BTs, it all contributes to an incredibly immersive and atmospheric visual experience. This game consistently pushes the boundaries of what's possible graphically. On consoles, particularly the current-gen machines, the definitive edition truly flexes its muscles. You typically have two main modes, a performance mode and a quality mode. Performance mode usually targets 60 frames per second, and a game like Death Stranding, where smooth traversal and quick reactions are key, is fantastic. It largely holds a 60 frame target, even in busy areas or during combat, making for a buttery smooth experience. The quality mode, on the other hand, often prioritises resolution and visual fidelity, aiming for something like a native 4K and enhanced graphical effects. It still targets 60 frames per second with some minor dips. Honestly, both modes look fantastic, but for me the higher resolution and the still 60 FPS frame rate in quality mode is the way to go. Alright, let's get into the heart of the matter, the story, and this is where Death Stranding really divides people. Kojima's stories are legendary for their complexity, their philosophical musing, and their ability to completely throw you for a loop. Death Stranding is no different, and at times is absolutely batshit crazy. You play as Sandport Bridges, a delivery man in a post-apocalyptic America, fragmented by an event called Death Stranding. This event has blurred the lines between the living and the dead, brought forth invisible entities called BTs, and introduced time-accelerating rain known as timefall. Your mission is to reconnect the isolated settlements across the continent, literally linking them to the chiral network, and in doing so, rebuild America. But it's so much more than that. It's a tale about connection, about loss, about humanity's resilience, and about the very nature of life and death. It's incredibly dense, full of metaphors, scientific concepts, and philosophical debates. This isn't a story that gives you all the answers up front. It unfolds slowly, deliberately, through long cutscenes, character interactions, and copious amounts of lore delivered through emails and interviews. It can be obtuse at times, but if you lean into its weirdness and allow yourself to be immersed, it's an incredibly rewarding and emotionally impactful narrative that stays with you long after the credits roll. Unfortunately, the game throws so many ideas together that it fails to wrap everything up by the end of its 32-hour runtime, but it's a story that had me fully invested and interested all the way through. So you've got this incredible looking game world and a mind-bending story, but how does it actually play? Yet again, this is a massive part that divides the fans. Let's talk about the gameplay. This is a core loop of Death Stranding, and it's arguably the most unique aspect of the game. At its heart, Death Stranding is a walking simulator, but a walking simulator like no other. Your primary objective is to deliver packages, and that involves traversing incredibly challenging terrain whilst meticulously managing your cargo, your balance, and your stamina. It sounds mundane, and for a lot of players it was, but for me it was surprisingly engaging. Every step matters. Do you take the high road and risk the fall, or the long way around to stay safe? How much cargo can you carry without becoming overburdened? What equipment do you need? This is where the depth comes in. You'll be using ladders, ropes, exoskeletons, vehicles, and eventually the online multiplayer system to build roads and structures to help yourself and other players. Combat is present, both against human enemies, the mules, and supernatural BTs. The mule encounters more traditional stealth and action, whilst BT encounters are tense, often terrifying affairs that rely on stealth and using your BB to detect them. The combat system is solid, but it's not the main focus of the game. The real genius of the gameplay lies within the Strand system, the online multiplayer part. You'll see structures built by other players, leave signs of encouragement, deliver lost cargo for them, and indirectly assist each other by rebuilding the world. It creates a genuine sense of camaraderie and connection, which perfectly mirrors the game's central theme. It's a slow burn, but incredibly satisfying as you overcome environmental challenges and contribute to a larger goal. Moving on, let's take a look at the sound design. Kojima Productions has always been a master of sound design, and Death Stranding is no exception. The soundscape of this game is phenomenal and absolutely crucial to its atmosphere. The subtle squelch of Sam's boots in the mud, the distant howling of the winds across a plain, the gentle chimes of the successful delivery package, every sound has been crafted with care. But it's a horror element where the sound design truly shines. The chilling gurgle of BTs, the panicking clicks of your scanner, the oppressive silence before the timefall downpour. These sounds are designed to put you on edge and heighten the tension. When you hear the faint, distant crying, you know you're in for trouble. The sound design isn't just background noise, it's an active participant in the building of the world and enhancing your emotional connection to it. And speaking of emotional connections, let's talk about the performances, the voice acting and the character acting. This is another area where Death Stranding absolutely excels. Kojima has brought together an all-star cast and they deliver incredible performances across the board. Norman Reedus as Sam Porter Bridges delivers a surprisingly nuanced and understated performance, conveying so much through subtle expressions and weary sighs. He's a stoic, reluctant hero, and Reedus perfectly embodies this. Then you have Leia Seydoux as Fragile, Mads Mikkelsen as Cliff, and Troy Baker as Higgs, just to name a few. Each actor brings their A-game, inhabiting their characters with depth and conviction. The voice work is consistently top-notch, conveying a wide range of emotions from sorrow to despair to hope and determination. So what else does the Definitive Edition bring to the table? Let's take a look at the extras. The Definitive Edition includes a director's cut content, and it really rounds out the package. Beyond the base game, it's a major update. You get a slew of additional content. This includes new delivery routes and missions, new equipment like the support skeleton and the reverse strike, and even new combat encounters and the firing range challenges. PC players especially, the Definitive Edition incorporates the crossover content with games like Half-Life and Cyberpunk 2077, adding unique missions, cosmetic items, and even new vehicles. These aren't just tacked on additions, they integrate surprisingly well into the game's lore and provide even more reasons to explore the world and deliver the packages. It truly feels like the most complete and polished version of the game. Now, no game is perfect, and Death Stranding certainly has its bad points. Let's be honest, Death Stranding isn't for everybody. The most common criticism, and one of the most valid, is the pacing. It's a very slow burn game. The first few hours, especially, are a tutorial in walking, inventory management, and stealth. If you're looking for a constant action and immediate gratification, you may find yourself getting bored. It demands patience. Another point of contention could be the sheer amount of exposition. Whilst the story is deep and fascinating, it's delivered through incredibly long cutscenes and an overwhelming amount of lore dumped via text. For some it can feel like you're watching a movie more than playing a game. The final 3 hours of the game borderline on painful as it tries to bring all its crazy ideas together, but I was glad to see it through. Lastly, whilst the walking simulator gameplay is its core, some players may find this repetitive nature of deliveries to become a grind, especially in the latter stages before the road networks are fully established. And whilst combat exists, it's not the most robust system, and some of the mule camps can feel a bit samey after a while. These aren't deal breakers for me, but points worth considering for potential players. So after all that, what are my final thoughts on Death Stranding? Death Stranding Definitive Edition is an undeniable masterpiece of unique vision and artistic ambition. It's a game that asks you to slow down, to appreciate the journey, and to find beauty and meaning in the acts of connection. It's a testament to Kojima's uncompromising approach to game design. This isn't a game that you just play, it's an experience you immerse yourself in. It will challenge your expectations of what a video game can be. It's not a mindless thrill ride, but a thoughtful and ultimately hopeful journey through a broken world. The Definitive Edition, with all the contents and polish, is undoubtedly the best way to play this singular adventure. If you're looking for something different, something that will make you think, and something that will leave a lasting impression, and I wholeheartedly recommend Death Stranding Definitive Edition. It's a journey unlike any other, and one you won't forget soon. There you have it. There's my views on Death Stranding in 2025. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, please give it a thumbs down. If you've got any thoughts or comments, please leave them in the comment section below. Thanks for watching.